In this session, we are going to understand the meaning of allusion. Now, allusion is a figure of speech, and allusion actually means an indirect reference to something which seems to be completely unrelated or circumstantial to the object or the actual situation in question. I will explain to you in a bit what I mean by this. So, through this allusion, when you, when the reference is to something outside the text or outside the context, uh, the situation at hand assumes a new meaning and a new denotation. So, allusion is in fact used to link concepts that the reader already has knowledge of with concepts discussed in the story. And allusion is understandable only to those with prior knowledge of the reference that is in question, which is a mark of cultural literacy. So, by this, what I mean is that if we were to look at this tortoise and hare story, right? So if I were I were speaking to someone, uh, say I was speaking to my student, and my student is maybe an overachiever, right? My student takes a lot of stress. My student is always under stress to be the best in class, to overachieve, to overperform, or to beat the others. And if I tell my student, for say, she is really stressing herself out, and I can sense that she's overstressed, and it is leading to behavioral changes in her personality. I call her and I tell her, come on, don't be that hare, be the tortoise. Okay, even the tortoise has a chance. So, when I say this, I'm alluding to a story which is outside her situation and the situation that I'm referring to, where she is stressed because she is studying more than necessary. She is working very, very hard without taking a break. But the moment I allude to the tortoise or the hare, it means that I am bringing in a story from another context, characters from another context, to convey what I'm trying to tell her, to give her the message in a more precise, in a more uh, in a more compact manner by referring to a story. Now, this is only possible if I am sure that she also knows the hare and the tortoise story. So, this is what is meant by a shared cultural literacy. So, if I tell this to someone who has no idea or whose culture does not include this story, or who does not belong to a culture which this story is a part of, that person will have no clue as to what I'm talking about, right? So it will only make sense when both of us have prior knowledge of the covert reference in question. Covert reference is the indirect reference in question. Now, I will give you two more very interesting examples. Um, this uh, is a character in Greek mythology. She's called Cassandra. Now, Cassandra was a princess, and she was blessed by Apollo. She was blessed with the power to prophesize. Now, what is to prophesize? To prophesize is जिसे हिंदी में आप कहेंगे भविष्यवाणी करना. So she could see the future. She had visions, and she could see the future. She could see, and probably she was blessed in a way that she could see something bad that was going to happen, right? And she would prophesy. She would say, oh, this is going to happen. So in that way, she was a seer, in that sense. Seer, someone who can see into the future. But then something happened, and Apollo was very angry with her over something, and he took back this gift that she had. uh, he didn't take back the gift, but he told her no one will believe her if she says anything now. So, what happened was Cassandra was in a kind of fix because she would keep prophesying and no one would believe her, right? no one would think that she's telling the truth. And the bad things, anyways, happened. But no, since no one had paid heed to her warnings, people would suffer. So here, if say for example, if someone is referred to as Cassandra, oh, she's the Cassandra, uh, or if I say, well, I didn't want to sound like Cassandra, which means I am saying something, I'm anticipating that something bad is going to happen, but I know no one is going to believe me. Or I anticipated that something bad would happen and I warned people about this, and yet no one believed me and the bad thing happened. Right? So that's an allusion to Cassandra. Similarly, there's another, maybe you've come across this phrase, I'm not sure, where you often may have heard people saying, I'm in a terrible catch 22 situation. Now, what is this catch 22 situation? Now, it actually comes from this novel by Joseph Heller by the name of Catch 22, which is set in the period of the Second World War, and it is on Army, Air Force, um, of US officers of the United States, where they are constantly flying, right? They are constantly flying fighter planes, and these soldiers are literally going crazy. The pressure of the war is so much. They are flying constantly. And the condition is that a soldier can apply for leave only. A soldier will be considered for leave only if the soldier is going insane. That is, the soldier is mentally falling apart. But the moment the soldier applies for leave, this leave is denied, because if the soldier is applying for leave, it means the soldier is not mentally insane, right? The soldier is not insane. The soldier has the good sense of applying for a leave. So either way, the soldier stands to lose, right? So the soldier has to wait till he goes mad, so that he can so that then he becomes eligible for leave. And if he thinks, I don't want to go mad, and he applies for leave, that leave is denied, because obviously the fact that he has applied for a leave proves that he's not as crazy as he wants people to believe, right? Or he's not on the verge of falling apart. So this is a catch 22 situation, where it means that whether regardless of whatever I do, I stand to lose. So it's like a no win situation, it's like a lose lose situation. So this is what we mean by allusion. So when I say I'm in a catch 22 position, I'm actually alluding to Joseph Heller's novel, where this situation was introduced, and I'm borrowing from there. But I don't go on to explain all this, because I'm presuming the other person also knows what is Catch 22. We share the same cultural literacy. Like I was saying, shared cultural awareness is extremely important for allusion, right? So when I say I'm in a Catch 22 situation, or she sounds just like Cassandra, it means that I and that person belong to a culture which is aware of these works, or these figures, or these characters like Cassandra, or Joseph Heller's work Catch 22, right? So I'm sure even in your regional languages, you might be able to figure out these elements, allusions, because we do this all the time. We keep referring indirectly, we keep drawing indirect references, we keep drawing people, symbols, characters outside, from outside the context, and we use them, right? So this is what allusion is all about. And in literature, like I said, allusion contributes to the richness of the narrative. It contributes to the richness of the text, right? And it is also a reflection of the socio-cultural scene to which the text belongs. So that was all about allusion.